Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group on YouTube. Today I have another rankings video for you, and today we have the top 5 best matches of Rob Van Dam, Mr. Monday Night RVD. He's had a fantastic career. RVD he's absolutely phenomenal in the ring. You know, he invented so many different things himself. Massive in ECW. You know, the fans absolutely loved and adored him there. And then obviously when he come over to WWF, after WWF bought out ECW, made a name for himself there, become one of the hottest stars in the company. Fans really took to RVD and got behind him, more than what WF were expecting them to, more than Vince was expecting them to. And then obviously they ended up pushing him as one of the best mid-card wrestlers that they had in the company, before eventually, giving him a chance at the WWE Championship. Unfortunately, we know how that worked out. After him, having his troubles in the car, shall we say, and ended up dropping the belt quite quick. Same with the ECW title too, which was unfortunate. But RVD still one of the best performers in the ring. He's probably one of the greatest mid-card wrestlers of all time. And it feels sad to say that, I really think his world championship reign, his WWE championship reign, could have really been something, if obviously what had happened didn't happen. He didn't punish him the way he did. I really think he could have stepped up and become like a Jeff Hardy, consistent around the main event for a good while. But nevertheless, he's still one of the best, especially from the years that I used to watch WWE growing up. From like early 2000. Well, I've always watched it, but early 2000s to say 2006, 2007 time. RVD was always one of the performers that I always looked out for. Any of his matches I'd definitely go and watch. So there we have it. Mr. 5-star himself, from his 5-star Frog Splash, is RVD, and we're going to go through his top 5 matches in his career. So we'll start at number 5, which is RVD versus Eddie Guerrero ladder match on Raw for the Intercontinental Championship back in 2002. There was always a thing between fans. They wanted to see Eddie versus RVD to see, whose Frog Splash was better, should we say. And they had this ladder match on Raw, which is a really good match. It's also the one, if you remember, which I'm sure you will, when the fan got into the ring and tried to get Eddie off the ladder, and Eddie ended up kicking him in the head a few times. That's this match, and I think it's available on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it is, but it's definitely on the WWE Network, because that's where I rewatched it. But RVD for me is like, when people talk about ladder matches, they talk about Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Edge and Christian, the likes of them. You know what I mean? Even Shawn Michaels to a degree as well. But RVD for me is fantastic in ladder matches. He's had this match, he's had a couple of others on Raw. He's been in numerous Money in the Bank ladder matches, including the one that he won. So and he always performs well, and a lot of his moves work well with the ladders, like the rolling thunder onto the ladder, which is obviously what he done on Eddie in this match. Unfortunately, like I say, they had the interruption with the fan, which sort of shocked the match a bit. But we still got a nice sunset flip powerbomb from Eddie off the ladder onto RVD. Flipped over the ladder, powerbombed him down, which was an excellent move. And then just unfortunately near the end, with the ladder, RVD set up the ladder to do a Frog Splash onto Eddie, and just sort of, I don't know if the ladder wasn't put up properly or but anyway, he falls off. But so we didn't actually see. I mean, a lot of fans wanted to see Eddie versus RVD, like I say, to see who had the better Frog Splash, and we didn't actually get a Frog Splash in this match, which was which was strange. But there you go. But so RVD knocks Eddie out the ring, climbs up the ladder, and becomes Intercontinental Champion. And it is a great match. It's definitely worth going and checking out if you haven't seen it. And it's always fun to go back and rewatch. It's only about 20 minutes long, but it's still fun. And I was surprised, to be honest. I haven't rewatched it on the WWE Network in a little while. I was surprised that they actually left the fan part in. I thought WWE would have cut that out on the network, but it's still there. You still see the idiot go and try and knock Eddie off the ladder. It's still real to me, damn it. But yeah, so it was a good match, and they had a couple of matches afterwards as well, which were good. But this one definitely makes me top five. It is probably most memorable because of the stupid fan getting involved in it, but it was still a good match nevertheless. Eddie doing some great heel work. RVD obviously massively over with the fans, and picks up the win and the Intercontinental Championship too. Number 4. Now, I'd forgot about this match, to be honest, until, like I say, I went back and rewatched about 15 of RVD's top matches that are listed. Like, I went through different lists, as I always do. Go through different lists on Google with different things, and look at which ones are the highest rated and the ones that the fans enjoy the most, and then I go and rewatch them all and then pick 5 from that. And do it. So obviously I write a little bit for each and every match, and then I can work out then which is better and which is not. And it's hard to do per wrestling. It was definitely hard to do for RVD, but this is a match that I actually forgot about until I started looking at matches, and it kept coming up. So I ended up rewatching it, and it was a lot of fun. So number 4, we have RVD versus Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kurt Angle at No Mercy. Was it No Mercy 2001, the WWF Championship? And yeah, like I say, I forgot about this. This was around the time of the Alliance. Well, it was during the Alliance. When you had the invasion storyline of WCW and ECW coming together to invade on WWF. So obviously you had Kurt Angle, who was WWF guy. You had Stone Cold, who was then the leader of the Alliance. And then you had RVD, who was a member of the Alliance but started going out on his own a bit. Obviously the Alliance was supposed to be the bad guys, weren't they, coming into WWF to shake it up and blah blah blah. And RVD he just got over. He's gone over massively, so they couldn't deny him anymore of being a face, so they had to just start pushing him as a face, and that's when he started going out on his own away from the Alliance. But it was a really good match, 3 different styles, and it actually works so well. They start the match with Stone Cold, basically going up to RVD and saying, you're supposed to be with me, we're working together, and RVD's like, well, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Stone Cold was the champ going in, so obviously he wanted to retain the title, but it was a really good match, dead fast paced. Full of loads of German suplexes from Kurt Angle, a lot of flips from RVD, some mud hole stomping from Stone Cold, but it was a brilliant match. It was a lot better than what I remember. It's like I say, I forgot about it completely and then I started going, oh yeah, I remember that, and then when I watched it I was like, God, this is a lot better than I remember. We even had a table spot on the announce table where Stone Cold had to put Kurt Angle through it. It's funny because the announce table looks like it's already dipped, so when they get on it I'm thinking, oh, this table's just going to go through. Anyway, it doesn't. They stand on it and Stone Cold ends up getting backdropped by Kurt Angle onto it, and it still doesn't go through. They just both end up slipping off, but it doesn't go through. But the table, like if you go back and watch it, the table's literally like that when they stand on it. It's one of the legs there, one of the legs there, and then he drops them onto it, and it doesn't go through. But I thought it'd go through just them standing on it. But anyway, yeah. So RVD has a very good show and doesn't look anywhere out of place against 2 big stars in Kurt Angle and then Stone Cold. But it was, like I say, a brilliant match. And then we had Vince McMahon comes down when it didn't look like Kurt Angle was going to win, because obviously he wants Kurt Angle to win because he's WWF. So that obviously it continues the whole storyline there. Basically when Stone Cold looks like he's going to get the win on Kurt Angle, I think he might have stunned him, Vince comes in with a chair, absolutely nails Stone Cold with the chair, and I didn't realise at first, I thought he just got him in the back. Then he goes down and then within a couple of seconds, the back of Stone Cold's head starts proper bleeding out. So as he's hitting with the chair, you know, the top part that you rest your back on, that's absolutely slapped him right in the back of the head, and that's what's caused the split in the back of his head, and it just starts coming out loads of blood. It was like, bloody hell. So anyway, you know, Kurt's outside the ring and Vince is screaming at him, get up, get up, get up, get up, trying to get him up to get the win. Meanwhile, he's not paying attention to what's happening in the ring. Stone Cold's down from the chair shot. RVD, let's go and, you know, try and get the belt while no one's paying attention. Basically, goes up on the top rope, hits a frog splash. And the next thing, Shane McMahon comes running down. Obviously, Shane being part of, you know, the alliance, and he wants Stone Cold to pick up the win. And you know, which then further puts RVD out on his own, if you know, because it wouldn't have mattered if they were both in the alliance, which one won, but obviously he wants Stone Cold to win. So he breaks up the pinfall, which RVD probably would have got the pin if it wasn't for that. And then we get Vince and Shane start rolling on the outside of the ring, and you know, Vince dives on Shane. They both go over the announce table. But anyway, Stone Cold then hits the stunner on RVD and picks up the win and retains the WWF Championship. But I mean, if you've got any fond memories of that time, like, I don't think it's as bad as what people made out to be, the whole invasion storyline. It wasn't as good as what we expected, because we expected the names of like Hulk Hogan and Goldberg and you know, all these big names to come across, and in reality we didn't get these big stars that we were expecting. But especially for someone like RVD, that was perfect time for him to come into the company, made a name for himself, and like, it didn't matter what he was doing, the fans just got behind him 100%. And you know, they could have easily, I think, pulled the trigger back in 2001, 2002 for him to be a world champ back then, but you know, unfortunately they didn't. And then, like I say, he became a great mid-carder, but at that time he was probably just as over as Stone Cold. Like, if you go back and watch it like I did, you know, Kurt Angle comes out, gets some cheers, RVD comes out and gets massive cheers, and then obviously Stone Cold comes out and also gets massive cheers. But like, you know, RVD was getting just as many cheers and just as many fans as like a Stone Cold, who was the champ at the time. So that is my number 4. Number 3 is another ladder match. Another ladder match on Raw. Another ladder match on Raw for the Intercontinental Championship, only a year after the first one in 2003 against Christian. Now this one for me is a lot better than the one against Eddie Guerrero. For the first part, you know, no fan gets involved, and that's not what everyone remembers. But the ladder gets used so much more, and I'm a big fan of ladder matches when they actually use the ladder during the match and not just for the finish. You know, we have Christian climbing up, and RVD, you know, does his side kick off the top rope, knocks him off the ladder, and then he hits the ladder as well. We get the rolling thunder onto the ladder. You know, Christian used the ladder a good few times to take RVD down. You know, there's some good back and forth with the ladder. You know, they're outside the ring, and he lays out the ladder, you know, on the ring and on the barricade. And then he front suplexes Christian onto it, and then does his, you know, his corkscrew leg drop, his spinning leg drop that he does off the side onto him. So, you know, he already takes the brunt when he gets suplexed onto it, and then he gets the spinning leg drop onto him as well. So there's some really good moves that are on it. We get the Christian hits the reverse DDT, which he was using on the top, sorry, I can't speak today, on the ladder. So they're up the ladder, you know, he goes up behind him, Christian hits him with the reverse DDT off the ladder, which was good. We have the ladder being set up in the corner, and RVD hits the monkey flip, you know, the one where he rolls through and flips them up, and he flips into the ladder, and then as he comes down, the ladder obviously comes down with him, and then he hits straight away the rolling thunder on top as well. So again, it's all use of the ladder, which made it so much better, like say, than the one against Eddie Guerrero. Even though they're both really good matches, this just makes it that much better. And I think he gelled really well with Christian in this match. Um, but yeah, so I forgot where I'm up to now. Oh yeah, of course. So as I was saying before about Eddie and RVD, where there was no frog splash, well, we got a frog splash in this one. RVD sets up the ladder in the corner. You know, Christian's down, goes up, does the 5-star frog splash off the top of the ladder. You know, fans absolutely loved that, eat that up, and it was really good impact for one as well. And then he climbs up and again becomes Intercontinental Champion, because Christian was champion going into this one, same as Eddie was in the last one. And you know, he comes out again on top and as Intercontinental Champion in a ladder match on Raw. So it was literally the same as what happened a year ago, but with a different opponent. And again, you know, these are matches that we were getting just on Raw at the time. It wasn't, you know, necessarily saved for pay-per-views like what it would be now. You know, a title change normally does happen on a pay-per-view. A ladder match normally happens at a pay-per-view nowadays, but back then this was just like normal free TV. Main events as well. These main events at the episodes of Raw, and both really good matches, and both are probably in some of my top Raw matches as well. If I did one of top Raw matches, I mean, you know, there'd be absolute loads to go through there, but I'm pretty sure these would make some sort of list in the top Raw matches anyway, whether it be top 20, top 30, but they'd definitely be involved. So that is number 3. So running through these quite quick, to be honest. Number 2, now this might surprise a few, but number 2 I've gone for John Cena versus John Cena at One Night Stand 2006. So this is one of the ones that everyone, well, if you're an RVD fan, you know this. If you're a John Cena fan, you know this. If you're a WE fan, if you're an ECW fan, you know this match. If you're an Edge fan, you know this match. You know what I mean? This is a massive match in the history of wrestling. If you've played the WWE 2K23 showcase, you know this match is in there as well. Obviously, it's John Cena is the WWE champion, and One Night Stand was the ECW pay-per-view that they were doing once a year at the time. RVD had won the Money in the Bank and decided that he was going to cash in a match. So obviously he was the second winner of the Money in the Bank. The first one, which was Edge, obviously he cashed in on John Cena right at the very end of an elimination chamber at the end of the pay-per-view after the match, when he was already bloody and beat down. RVD told him, you know, a couple of weeks in advance, this is what I'm going to do. This my opportunity is going to be in an ECW arena at an ECW pay-per-view. So, you know, it was dead different the way they started, and it was good that they did it as well, because it made the two really different. You know, if we'd have just had the exact same thing one after another, then we're like, oh, right, so we know what this Money in the Bank's all going to be, you know. But obviously, because it was completely different, to then give you the whole sense of, wow, anything can happen with this Money in the Bank. It helped the Money in the Bank as well. You know, obviously it filled out the bingo hole that it was in, as you will, because it was ECW. But it will do, you know, RVD getting a chance at a World Championship, at the WWE Championship, at an ECW event. It's funny, isn't it? So it was funny, actually, just before I go into the match, like when I was rewatching it, I was clicking on the network to get it up, and they've changed it at the moment on the Fire Stick. I've got it on the Fire Stick, I've got it on my phone, and you used to be able to, if you pull up a pay-per-view, it used to just press down, it'd come down with each of the matches, so I'd just go across and pick the match and watch it, which you can still do on your mobile, but you can't do it on the Fire Stick, which is annoying. So you're just having to hold the fast forward button like you do on New Japan World or on Fight App, you know, for AEW. So fast forward, and then it come up and it showed the package for John Cena versus RVD. So I was like, oh, Sean, this should be on next. So I just left it play. And the next thing is Eugene comes out. I was like, I remember Eugene being at the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view. But obviously, because it just, whenever you watch these matches, I've literally just scrolled across and picked the match that I wanted to. So obviously I was like, I don't remember why is Eugene at this ECW pay-per-view. And the next thing he starts reading out a poem about ECW, and I was just like, oh my god, what is going on here? I was like, I don't remember this at all. So he reads out this poem about ECW and this, that, and the other, and how he wants to hug all the fans, and the fans are just having none of it, because, you know, you've seen ECW fans, half of you have probably been to the events and stuff, You know, they're just nuts, aren't they? They just want everyone to just bleed and just be absolutely pummeled. Like, especially if they're not ECW or an ECW original. You know, like Eugene, who's like, you know, a special needs character. And then I'll just go and boo and going for them and that. And then Sandman's music hits, and I was like, oh my god. And then I couldn't tear my eyes away from the TV. There's like Sandman's come out. He's, you know, necking beers, smashing his head in with a kendo stick, and there's Eugene in the ring, like, gives a hug. I was just like, I couldn't take my eyes off it. And he just pummels Eugene everywhere with this kendo stick, just absolutely hammers him. Then gets one from a fan. The fan has a kendo stick with them, obviously, as they do. And he takes it off him and starts absolutely hammering with these two friggin' kendo sticks into the back. It's like one of the most random things ever, and I don't remember at all whatsoever. But yeah, that happened. So, you know, this is probably I'd say RVD's biggest moment in his career, shall we say. For me, it's not his best match. It's, to be honest with you, if you look at it in reality, RVD doesn't actually do a hell of a lot of moves in this match. He doesn't get the chance to do it. It's more about John Cena. You know, and he was the big name at the time, and he was on a good run as WWE champ, so we do get it. But you know, it was all about John Cena and the crowd. You know, obviously the crowd hates them, didn't want him there. You know, if Cena wins it right, you've seen the old pictures and stuff. You know, you've watched the match. Obviously, if you've seen any RVD matches, you know what I'm talking about. You know, he takes the shirt off, throws it, it gets thrown back at him, he throws it again, someone spits on it, throws it back, he throws it again. This fella's wiping his ass with it. You know, gives the middle finger every chance to get things at him, and then obviously you can't wrestle, all that. He even goes into the crowd at one point. You know, he does a move on RVD, which knocks him off the barricade, and he goes into the crowd, and you can see the security trying to, you know, get to him and that, and one of them like whispers in his ear, and it must be like, get out of here before you get murdered. You know what I mean? They just didn't like him at all, and didn't want absolutely nothing to do with John Cena in that match. But it made the atmosphere fantastic, you know what I mean? And John Cena was like the biggest face in the company at the time. And then it resorts to him like, I forget what move it is now. He did a move on RVD. I don't know whether he dropped him on a chair or something. He does a move on RVD. I've probably got it there. And he goes for a pinfall, and he actually puts his feet on the ropes then to leverage himself, you know, like a heel tactic. And it was like, oh, okay. So he was proper feeding into it then at this point. You know, you can see when they're all bowing and giving him a finger, and Cena sucks and you can't wrestle and all that. And he starts smiling and laughing at the fans and just roused them up more. And it was good to see John Cena in this way, because we hadn't seen him in this way before. And then it gets to the point where, you know, we get the normal moves, don't we, of John Cena, like the spin out powerbomb. He does the 5-star knuckle shuffle. He lifts RVD up to try and hit him with the FU. RVD reverses it, does the spin kick to the face. You know, it's the simple things, even in the beginning when they're doing the back and forth, and then, you know, the boos and the yays, you know. Like, RVD literally could have just turned up and done a frog splash and got the win, and they just went nuts. Because that's all they were interested in. They do it, but like they watched it and they got into it, but like it didn't matter. The thing that mattered to them, obviously, was him winning the belt, taking it from John Cena, and it was just brilliant the way they done it. The atmosphere was so good. One of the best atmospheres we've seen for a match, even still to this day. But anyway, yes, we reverse an FU. We reverses 2 in the end. You know, we make sure that you don't get an FU. You know, protect John Cena's finisher. But then John puts him in the STF, or the STFU as they called it at the time, as he's crawling towards the ropes and that. And, you know, it's under Extreme Rules, the match, with, you know, obviously in ECW used to the chair and stuff like that. So then he goes to the ropes, and he's like that on the ropes. And the ref's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's like, break the hold. And he's like, nah. And he's like, break the hold. And he's like, nah. But he's right, though. John's right. Like, it's no DQ. What are you going to do about it? Like, you can't disqualify him. So anyway, he pulls Cena's arm. So Cena gets up, and they start shoving each other back and forth. And, you know, fans are loving it. And then he just clotheslines the ref. And it's like, wow. Another heel move. You know, the fans are going mad. And then anyway, so we get it so that, yeah, John goes for another FU. RVD keeps hold of the ropes and then he, does his normal way, drops him outside the ropes, turns around, speared through the table by an edge wearing a space helmet, was it? A motorbike helmet and a leather jacket. So then, he reveals himself, spears him through the table, fans are going nuts, thank you Edge, and all this, and the the SmackDown referee come down, I missed that part out. They had, John Cena hit a move or something, I can't remember what it was now, probably an AA or something like that, or the FU or whatever. Anyway, he hits this move, goes for a pin. Obviously, there's no ref because he just knocked him out. SmackDown referee comes down. Well, that's it. The place is going absolutely nuts, isn't it? Because a WWE refs come down. So obviously, when Edge then ends up spinning through the table, the ref's like, "What are you doing?" So Edge lays out the ref. Brilliant. Now we have no referee at all. RVD then goes up on top rope, hits him with a 5-star frog splash, and then he's like, there's no referee, the ECW referee's knocked out, the WWE referee's knocked out, and then what happens next is just nuts. Paul Heyman runs down and counts to 3, and it's legit. It's okay because it's ECW, I'm not allowed to do this. But anyway, RVD picks up the win, picks up the WWE Championship, which Joey Styles then calls over the announcements as ECW Championship, even though it wasn't, but there you go. And yeah, so RVD becomes WWE Champion against John Cena. Fantastic, like I say, probably his best moments. The match itself wasn't great, but the moment was superb, especially, like I say, with all the ins and outs with the fans, with Cena, and everything RVD was doing. Like, RVD couldn't do any wrong, you know what I mean? Even when he hit Cena with a chair, they were like, yay! Cena hits RVD with a normal move, and they're like, woo! But it was one of the best atmospheres, and if for some reason you haven't seen it and you sat here watching this, then I question whether you're an RVD fan, but go and check it out, definitely on the network, definitely worth a watch, 100% just for the actions and that, and like I say, it's on WWE 2K23 Showcase. You get to be in the match against Cena. So let's run down show number 5. We have Eddie Guerrero versus RVD Raw 2002 for the Intercontinental Championship match in a ladder match. Number 4 is No Mercy 2001, Kurt Angle versus Stone Cold versus RVD for the WWF Championship. Number 3, again back to Raw, back to a ladder match, back for the Intercontinental Championship, this time against Christian in 2003. Number 2 is versus John Cena for the WWE Championship at One Night Stand 2006. So what could be number 1? What is the whole effing show's number 1 match? He's had a great career, like say ECW, WWE, TNA. He had a couple of alright matches there. It's got to be versus Jerry Lynn. RVD and Jerry Lynn had some banging matches, but the one I love the best is Living Dangerously in 1999 for the ECW Television Championship. What a match. What a match. This is my number 1. This is a fantastic match, and if you haven't seen it, again, I'm pretty sure this one's on YouTube. You'll be able to get it on Daily Motion, and you'll be able to get it on the WWE Network as well. But it's fantastic. Starts dead fast paced, both of them 50-50 here, and they're both using the barricade to try and, pick up the advantage. And like I say, RVD does the corkscrew spin kick thing that he does, with a leg drop where he lands on them on the side. Literally they're both just getting bounced off the barricade outside, to try and one up each other. The chair gets into the ring. Now, do you know what? This is a match where I think's great with the chair. Like, they bring the chair into the match. Obviously, it's ECW, so it counts. Back when it was proper ECW, not WECW, when you were getting people lose by DQ. So obviously, bring the chair into the match. But you know what? They don't bring in too many chairs. They don't bring in a chair each. They have one chair, but they both use it constantly throughout the match, which I thought was really good. Even when RVD put him in, the surfboard move, RVD was lying on the chair. He puts him in the surfboard, where he locks the arms and the legs and brings him up like a surfboard. And then pushes him up, rolls out the way, and Jerry Lynn lands on the chair. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know, we get DDTs onto the chair and everything. At one point, in fact, at one point, this was really good. They were doing moves and they were countering each other, and RVD goes for a leg sweep. You know, where he's on the floor and he goes for the leg sweep. Jerry Lynn jumps up, leg drops him. So as he does the leg sweep, he ends up over the chair. And so as Jerry Lynn jumps off and catches him with the leg drop, his head goes into the chair. I just thought that was amazing. I mean, it sounds mad when I'm talking about it, but if you go back and watch it, or if you've already seen it, it's a really, really good spot. Yeah, it's like say they both take chair shots. RVD takes two. They're up in the turnbuckle at one point. Jerry Lynn's in the turnbuckle. RVD's up at the side on the ropes. You know, Jerry Lynn hits him twice on the head of the steel chair. Full on, by the way, headshots like the olden days. Not what they do now, where they're like that. Like I get why they do it, because you know obviously issues and that with brain injuries and concussions and stuff. But I mean, it just looked better, didn't it, back in the day? You know, they're like that now. But anyway, he takes these two full shots to the head, and it's like, bloody hell, he's dazed as hell, and he's on the ropes like that. And then he does a side kick and knocks Jerry Lynn completely off the turnbuckle. Oh, by the way, kicks the chair into his face first of all. So he does the spin kick, hits the chair into his face, falls back off the turnbuckle to the outside through a table. Just like, oh my god, it was nuts. And then obviously later on they have it on the turnbuckle where Jerry Lynn does a tornado DDT onto RVD, and they go off the side apron of the ring onto another table, which doesn't break, which I think's even worse than it going through. Because imagine getting a DDT onto a table that doesn't break, just like a hard surface, that jar your neck, that wouldn't it? So anyway, like I say, they go back and forth to do the multiple 2 counts, you know, where they do the roll throughs and stuff, where they all go around the ring trying to get different ones, bridge pins and roll throughs and schoolboys and flip over pins and all that. And they do that back and forth for a good few minutes as well. The fans eat that up, absolutely love it. The best thing I love about this match is when one seems to get the upper hand and the other one comes up, and it's just like constantly 50-50 throughout the match. And then all of a sudden the bell rings and it's like, what's going on there? 20-minute time limit elapsed. So Jerry Lynn's obviously calling for 5 more minutes, and you know RVD's like, nah, I don't need to do this. You know, belt's mine. I've retained, because it was for the ECW Television Championship. By the way, what a reign RVD had with that belt, phenomenal. So yeah, he goes to disappear. And anyway, the fans are there going 5 more minutes and that. So, you know, the match then starts again, doesn't it? Or continues. You know, the bell goes and they continue. You know, Jerry Lynn hits him straight away with a shotgun drop kick into the corner. Hits him with a power driver, gets the 2 count. You know, it's just constant back and forth, even still. You know, the power driver was brilliant as well. And then RVD ends up hitting him with that Alfonso on the side with the annoying whistle. Oh my God, I don't miss that. Where he just whistled all the way through the match. He chucks the chairs to Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn's like, hey, oh no, that just means you're going to get Van Daminated, mate. So he gets the Van Daminator. RVD goes up on turnbuckle. 5-star frog splash. What an impactful 5-star frog splash as well. He probably lamps him on with this frog splash, and then picks up the win and retains the ECW Television Championship, which was match of the night, which is RVD's best match for me. Like, I can't see a better match than that, and I think the two of them work so well together. And like I say, if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It's definitely worth a watch. I think it ends up running for like 23-24 minutes, but it's just constant, like I say, dead fast paced. And like I say, it's really 50-50 throughout, where you're like, oh, who's going to win this match in the end? But yes, that's my number 1 pick. So, Mr. Monday Night, Mr. 5-star, Rob Van Dam. Thank you for watching, everyone. Let me know, obviously, like I say, in the comments, whether you agree or disagree with my top 5, whether you think they should be in a different order, or whether you think that I've missed out any matches at all. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what your top 5 RVD matches are. I'll be interested to see how many are the same as mine. So, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, give us a comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll be hitting you with some more wrestling related content coming very soon. So, thank you and goodbye.